we're delayed greatly on this thanks to weather, so let's tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do a deep dive video where we're going to test several features, including how the car behaves at blinking yellow emergency lights to see if it brakes when it shouldn't. We're going to see how navigate on autopilot and regular autopilot do, both on the highway and on the city streets. We do not have the full self-driving beta, so when we're testing on the city streets is auto steer, essentially. And we're also going to test smart summon to target and smart summon, as well as anything else that comes up along the way. You'll see chapter markings down below indicating what you're looking at. You'll see closed captioning if you need it for my rate of speech and accent. So if turning on the captions doesn't work, so if slowing the speed down to say 75% doesn't work, then you can also turn on the captions and that'll take care of it for you. Before we get started, I want to thank our patrons and our channel members. You can click that join button down below if you are interested in becoming a member. So let's jump into it and we'll catch you on the flip side. Look what finally showed up. So at the end of our quick look video, I couldn't get the release notes showing, and now they've just popped up on their own. No restarts, no nothing. I did several restarts and it didn't come back, so I don't know. There's our release notes, minor fixes. Well, the squeak is back on the seat. Let's see how the car stops for red lights, if it's smooth or not. And then we'll also get to see how it does for acceleration off of a lead car. All right, it's turned green. We see the other person. I would call that leisurely because it's not keeping up with them and they're not going all that fast. Okay, it stops back pretty far when it's on going up a hill with this warmth of battery on just regular cruise control. So what we're going to do next after the red light is we're going to cut to coming up on the flashing yellow lights. We're going to do that twice. Friend of the channel, MalTalksTesla, is reporting that auto steer is much smoother on city streets. We will try that out and see. And thanks to these folks taking forever at a red light, or sorry, at a green light, we will cut again. The car still sees turning cross traffic, or still displays turning cross traffic, I should say. Yeah, I hear it. I see it. I hear you. All right, the car already sees the flashing lights. Let's see how it behaves. I acknowledge, turns green, turns red, turns green, turns red. This is a regression. I'm now pushing with the accelerator just to get us through so we don't get rear-ended. We're going to try that coming back the other way, up ahead. I would say slamming the lightning pedal, but, well, it was just gently pushing down on the accelerator. That way it didn't stop in the middle of the street and get rear-ended. Usually this light is flashing yellow or green for us, so it's the first time we've had to wait here for a minute. But that wasn't so bad. Hopefully this guy doesn't do the stupid stuff. Oh yeah, he did! And he lost his can off the top of this car. What a weirdo. Alright, there we go. Let's try it out again. Sees the flashing lights. I'll acknowledge them slowly, that way I don't get the Rick Astley situation again. Alright, so it's staying green. Good. So it's still okay, but it still leaves a lot of room for improvement. Alright, now let's see. Now we're going to navigate to the Latino grocery store and see how it behaves. Apparently changing lanes resets the... Yeah, I'm still here. Changing lanes resets the acknowledgement of the green light. You almost erased it. Ah! Alright, as long as the people behind us deal appropriately with the red light, we'll be fine. Or not, the people stopped at the green light. Yes. Come on. Next up, we're going to do a compound on-ramp with a sharp curve to see how the car behaves with that. There's no stoplight here. That's for the other lane. Well, it's probably gonna have trouble getting on here, so I'm gonna just keep flashing the signal until it does something. And with the oncoming traffic, who knows how it will behave. Don't try to pass the Lexus, just get behind him. Whoa, okay, brakes. Oh, what the hell, guy? All right, so it ignored the line there and just went for it. The Lexus driver was too timid to do what they should have done, and that's why the car tried to run him through. Typically, you would be more assertive there, and they just jump out and the car handles it correctly, but they didn't this time. So, 40 miles an hour. We'll see what happens with this. 35, okay. The steering is smooth. It's probably not going to go up to the real speed limit, so nobody coming up on us, so I will help it signal into the next lane. It can get that with me just keeping pressure on the wheel, but sometimes it doesn't get it in time. So it's decided that 50 is the speed limit, and I disagree, so let's reset the speed limit to 65. All right, we've got oncoming traffic, and we've got that curve at the end of this multi-merge to see if the car behaves like it's a slight zoom to the left, or if it is a massive cloverleaf curve to the left. It does both. All right, we're going to clean the windshield, and the wipers will probably go wild and cancel out of nav on autopilot. Oh, it behaved well this time. Look at that. Okay, good. Oh, you can stop now. No. All right, so it's still afraid of its own wipers, but at least it didn't think that we were in a hurricane. All right, smoothly. Oh, look at that, smoothly on that turn. Great job, Tesla. All right, I'm gonna, oh no, it's got it. All right, go ahead, go. Go. Much more sort of it coming out of that lane that it shouldn't be in. Still with the wipers. Passing the slow-moving traffic, look at you. Go ahead. All right, so the passing logic seems to have been improved from last time, because previously, not on 2021.4.2, because we didn't go anywhere with that, but on the previous update, it would have just sat behind that Mercedes for a long while, and this time it wasn't playing around. I like that. All right, we'll be back when we see something interesting happen, as well as to see how far ahead of its exit that the car tries to get in the lanes to do the exit. Hopefully it's still down at 1.3 miles or less. As some of the bad releases, it tries to do that 7, 6, 3 miles ahead of time, and in heavy metro traffic like this, that is the wrong answer. So let's see if it's wrong or if it's right. The car still plays like the cat. If it fits, it sits. This Sienna behind us was giving us room. I don't think he wanted us to merge, but there was room to merge. And with the lane in front of us slowing down like that, the car opted to go for it, and it did. Nothing more to say about that. Just have a feeling that my complaint about the trucks on the last deep dive will probably still stand. Make sure that you are actually not in the blind spot of a truck. But we'll see if we come across any trucks in the beep and creep. But I don't know if I'll get any of that in this video, but we'll see. Okay, so it doesn't seem to have any problems with with Navigate on Autopilot and distance anymore. We're at 2.3 miles, and it still made a pass on the left, and at some point it's going to try to get us back over on the right. Let's take a look. I'll cut to where it wants to do that, unless something interesting happens in the meantime. All right, so it's already telling us that it wants to make that lane change, but it doesn't really want to hang around behind the slow hatchback. All right, at 1.8 miles, it's getting back in the middle lane, but it's still passing cars. I love this. It's going to get behind them now. I think that's a factor of distance, probably. Oh, it's going for a pass again because they won't let it in. And it's going to try the next car. Come on, car. All right, I'm going to help it out. What I did was I just gave a little bit of lightning pedal and let it pick a different target. and it did just nicely there. All right, we're at 1.3 miles, so probably gonna try the next lane immediately. Or not. There we go. All right, and it's probably gonna go again because we're at less than a mile. Okay. It's much smoother about it. It's like it didn't make a beeline all the way over at 1.3 miles, so that's not bad. I think that might be just because these guys are going so much slower than our set speed. And traffic isn't so dense that it needs to go right away. That should happen any minute now. We're at 0.7 miles. There we go. You can hit the brakes now. He's not going to let you in. Come on. Good job. Oh, wow. Heavy on the brakes. It tapped my toe with that one. I drive without one shoe on, and that's how it was able to hit me. Bare sock driving. Here we go again. Okay, good job. All right, it's gonna probably use, it's gonna pick some ridiculous speed here, 55, and then it's gonna pass where the cop usually hangs out over here, and then once the lane split, it's gonna pick speed back up again, and then drop it again. Dropped it to 45, picked it back up to 55. I'm imagining that's the factor of the maps, which I didn't even check to see what version of maps we're working with today. We are working with 2020.48 still. Some new maps will be nice. Okay, I'm gonna keep an eye on it. It already goes pretty slow here, but I'm looking at a lot of this ice or just pushed over salt. But as I've seen, when this car hydroplanes or hits ice, this one or my old one, either way, the Teslas, when they have a traction loss in auto steer, they will chuck the controls back like a hot potato if they don't recover. Question is, the threshold for not recovering is sometimes pretty low. All right, so it thinks there's a stop at the end of this on-ramp, so we will help it out. All right. And then we'll signal because the people there won't let us in if we don't. All right. I was totally thinking it would pick a different route, but oh well. All right, let's go a little faster. Oh, it's going to hit the bump. And it's going to do it again. There it is. I probably should have steered out of auto steer. So pothole detection is not enabled for us. Alright, it can't make this turn on its own because it's halfway illegal. And alright, BMW. Alright, signal again. This is a stupid design. But it's what the locals do. I'm curious how full self-driving beta would do with that. Or city streets beta, as I call it, because my full self-driving is already called beta. Don't jump out in the road, Camry. Great. Oh no. Okay. As Mal said, it is pretty smooth in the local streets. Okay, now we're going to see how the car does when it's not following another car when the light turns green and I tell it it's okay to proceed, and then we will immediately make the turn ahead. It will probably be just as leisurely as the car that we were following earlier. Okay, we have accepted the green light, and it's not leisurely, it's not aggressive either, it's competent. All right, so we'll acknowledge this green light, and I'm going to take over because there's somebody in the crosswalk. It probably would do fine, but around that curve and us not being on full self jaywalker, us not being in full self-driving city streets beta, I don't trust to take on that liability for myself. So you can go. Just because the light's out doesn't mean you stop. The light is out. Maybe ask me what to do. Interesting. See if any of these are acceptable parking spaces to the car. There's one. It's probably gonna go all the way back for it too, so let's see if we can't get another one. There we go. We've got our P. We're gonna push the brake hard so we get a hold, switch to reverse. I'm gonna come over here and hit start on the screen. Then we're gonna watch our surroundings and make sure the car doesn't get too close to anything. It'll get very close to stuff, and we'll see how it does. I like how it tilts the mirrors down for itself. And Autopark is still just as good as ever. We'll catch you on the flip side. Okay, so we're gonna do a summon to target, smart summon to target. So summon, smart summon. You're here, and you want to be there. So it's not exactly accurate. Let's just go straight. It says it wants to steer to do that. Whoa, what is it doing here? I mean, yeah, that would work, but let's not do that car. Well, the traffic isn't too bad. The question is all the pedestrians and stuff. All right, no traffic. Fire truck, let's go. Not terrible, but it could have just gone straight and just like stayed there. All right, so next I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna do a smart summon come to me. I'm gonna just call it across the parking lot towards those trash cans over there, the dumpsters. All right, so we'll see if the car tries to do everything the right way or not. Hopefully not. Or hopefully if it does do it the right way, that nobody's in the way. Alright, so there's our car. Checking for cross traffic. We're gonna push come to me. Starts in reverse to make sure that the blind spot is clear. Looks like they're back to following more of the rules of the road when they can. It's gonna go around or is it gonna come through? Guess it's gonna go around. So I would say that the smart summon behavior has definitely been modified, because the last couple versions definitely would have just gone straight across the parking lot to come get me. Yeah, that's right, just turn. Don't do anything special now. Get deeper into a parking spot so that it can get out of the street for me to get in. Just like the last test we did, it does get kind of close to you. Obviously it's not going to run you over, but that's an interesting behavior there. Oh, this time it opened the door instead of having me do it. You can open it all the way or no? Yeah, there you go. Good job. What do you think, Luna?
See my face or not?
No, they're going to see a big circle. They're going to say,
Smooth.
It was smooth?
It's not make me scary like that. The that time in the
Springfield?
Rotan station,
Oh.
train station in
Yeah.
Rotan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about how it was following all the lines on the road and everything? Was it like me, or was it just okay? Or, I mean, obviously better than last time.
It's okay.
Okay, so my fears of it cutting off trucks that can't see it, not a big deal. The car, oh, let me save it. There we go, saved. The car just tried to do a merge into the center lane at the same time as a semi-truck did. And the semi-truck started to move just a little too much for the car's comfort. And so the car aborted the lane change, went back to the first lane. Well, it didn't do a full abort. It ducked back to the left lane. And then after it saw that the truck was letting us go, it moved back into the center lane for real behind this hearse. So, yeah, sorry, a bunch of weird lights on the road. I don't trust people around here, especially in the cold. Anyway, the car did the right thing, and we weren't close to a collision or anything. So my fears of what could happen with the old version if the new one was even half as aggressive, it's not a concern. Take a look. I thought I was done. The corrective steering that the car does when it thinks you're drifting from your lane on full manual, where you're controlling the pedals and the steering. I was making a left turn where there were a dual lanes turning left at the red light. It was green at the time. And the car thought I was drifting from the lane, and it applied the corrective steering like it always does, kind of invisibly. You could feel a little something in the steering wheel, but this time it also sounded the alert, the same one that you get with the hands-on wheel, except that obviously my hands were already on the wheel and it knew this. And there was a little message on the screen saying that corrective steering had been applied. I tried to look back in the recent notifications and they weren't there, and the camera wasn't at hand for me to catch it before it disappeared. So another undocumented change. Well, undocumented to us normal folks. But with that, we'll catch you on the flip side. All in all, I'd say this was a pretty good software update. I was surprised to see finally that they'd adjusted the smart summon, both the come to me and summon to target. The navigate on autopilot routing is actually pretty good. Anything that kind of weirded me out about the last one is gone. And there's just no complaints. As usual, they say minor changes, and we get a whole bunch of under the hood stuff, and that's one of the things I like about these updates. So as MalTalksTesla talked about, yes, the steering is smoother, and if you haven't already upgraded this and your car is offering it, I would say go ahead and do it. And then the next thing I'd say is over here are 2 videos that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. And over here is the subscription bubble. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.